defense coming by way of knockout. Please welcome the former IBF middleweight champion who tonight is making his 5th defense of his title, introducing the current WBA super middleweight champion of the world, Michael Second to Nunn. Once again, here's the referee in charge. Now to give instructions, John Coyle.
I'll stop you both in the dressing room. Just remind you, obey my instructions at all times and defend yourself at all times unless I say stop boxing. Okay? You know the rest. Good luck.
Well, there it is. Look now at the southpaw Michael Nunn, one of the stars of American boxing. 5th defense of the WBA version of the Super Middleweight Championship. It's the 12-stone division. And Steve, nicknamed Lightning Little. I suspect that might be overplaying that a little bit. But at least Nunn now coming in at 11 stone 13, just giving away a pound, that's all. Well, that's a relief, because his last contest...
This is over! Left hook in the first round.
Well, that's, I mean, he's been known to do this before. I mean, it's surprising with Michael Nunn. Only one loss in 43, that was to James Toney. But nobody thought this fellow would get near him. I'm saying he's not exactly like him. Well, he proved it there.
Yes, he looks very gaunt. Nunn. I wonder how strong he is at this weight. He doesn't seem to be carrying much flesh at all. He had that kind of gaunt look as he came into the ring. And he certainly hasn't started sharply.
No, Jim, I was talking about the records and things, and before I was rudely interrupted by Little's left hook, I was about to say that getting the weight off at the last fight, and now he's done it for this one, there must be a question mark there.
Yeah, I just wonder, I just don't like the look of him.
Too, Jim, you know.
Yep, I mean, he's very slim looking, he's very gaunt. And I mean, that wasn't a tremendous punch, it was a decent punch, but it wasn't a bone shaker, and it put him over and put him in some trouble. So we have to ask, is he a super middleweight, or is he doing the job properly? Is he taking the weight off too near the fight and leaving his strength with it? But he certainly looks gaunt, he doesn't look strong.
Steve Little's fought 5 world champions, but he's only won against one of them, and he's long retired now for Pino Cuevas. Well, if he's going to stand and trade punches with him, Nunn, you never know, he might be taking a few chances. It wasn't until the 11th round that he in fact lost his only previous contest to James Toney, the man who mouths off a bit, doesn't he, in the States, and has another version of this championship.
Against Crawford and Ashley, Nunn looks so strong and so intimidating right from the start. But it looks quite the opposite here tonight. I have the feeling maybe he's pulled too much weight off too near this fight.
Usually has Angelo Dundee, one of the top men in the game, in his corner, but he's not in the country with him. I don't know whether it is down to the training, Jim.
Maybe he's not really up psychologically as well. Maybe he thinks this fellow is just going to be a workout for him. But this is certainly a terrible first round by his own standards.
Yeah, he's been shaken a few times.
Yeah, but there's just no life about what he's doing.
No. As far as I remember, he's only been down against Toney. Well, he's glad to get that one out of the way.
Legs out, round 2.
Coming up for round 2 then. Now let's see if Michael Nunn's going to recover that and recover his pride in the round.
Well, Nunn wants a big round here, Reg. He wants to land some real solid shots on this fellow and knock some of that confidence out of him. And that was a disastrous start for Michael Nunn. I mean, he obviously expects an easy defence here, but I don't think he's going to get it. And I have to repeat, Reg, he certainly has the look of a fellow who has left some of his strength somewhere. I wonder how much.
I haven't seen much of Steve Little. Comes from a place called Reading in Berkshire, Pennsylvania. He didn't have any fights last year, Little. You often wonder how they get the chance to go in with that. He's lost to Terry Norris. John David Jackson, you may remember, he defeated Chris Wyatt. And took some time off. Got a draw with Manuel Sosa, who was Michael Nunn's last opponent.
Well, this is terrible what Nunn's doing here, Reg. It's as though he hasn't a clue what the job's all about.
He's been known to show off a bit in fights, Jim. I mean, he wouldn't go on the floor to do a bit of kidding. That's the last thing he'd do.
I mean, this is the guy we think is the best at his weight. You know, better than Tony, Ben and Eubank. And this really is poor stuff from him. And Little's still getting through with the shots.
He's hanging on for dear life there, Nunn, isn't he? Look, arm locking. And he just made a remark there. You see that, the referee don't hold to Nunn.
I mean, you would expect in the first few rounds that Little couldn't even get close to Nunn if Nunn was at his best. But then Nunn, he actually looks like a novice the way he's standing inside doing nothing. A little bit better now, he's trying to get some punches off a little bit quicker.
Well, I've seen him fight quite a bit, Jim, and this is the first time I've ever seen him as bad as this at the start of a fight.
It's as though he doesn't know what the job's about, and he's still taking shots to the chin from Little.
And his sort of contempt for the opponent, which is always dangerous at world title level. I noticed Jim at the weigh-in, the moment he got off the scales, had a large drink of orange juice all ready for him, so he must have been drying out quite a bit. And remember, that took place at 6 o'clock last night.
We have to remember the trouble he had making the weight for his last defence, Reg. He was 7 pounds over, it was ridiculous.
Yeah, they let him go all night and do it weigh the next morning, which I didn't know how the rules covered that, but they get away with it.
He should have been stripped of his title last time.
Well, they're not tic-tac men in the corner with those white gloves. That's maybe all the American states now are demanding that, prevention of AIDS, etc. A little wash and brush up, and I would hope a little bit of an ear bashing as well for this man, because he can be a lot better than this. Although he struggled a little bit last time after he'd made weight against Manuel Sosa, who was just a strong puncher who had drawn with Steve Little.
10 seconds, corners. Hi, baby. All right, check it out. Round 3.
Third round. And not an auspicious start at all by Michael Nunn.
That's it.
I mean, Little looks like a decent pro, Reg, you know, chin down nice and low, has a kind of sharp look about him as though he really means business.
121 of 36 fights, and there are too many stoppages in them actually. But he's only been stopped himself 3 times.
And Nunn looking a little bit sharper here at the beginning of the third, but then again, as soon as he goes close, he's hanging on, and that could be a sign of a lack of strength in his stuff. I mean, he should be letting punches go here, but he's doing nothing inside. So I wonder if he's lacking his strength.
Oh, it could well have been fighting the scales too much, Jim. You know, it's almost like a couple of soliduses having a lark in the gymnasium, isn't it, instead of a World Championship fight.
Even the crowd are getting a little bit impatient with the singing we're getting. It's not really what we expect from the fellow, as I said earlier, who we think is the best at his weight in the world. I mean, he's been bullied here. He can't get this fellow under control at all. At long range he's better, but he can't keep the little at long range.
Jim, if he's worked very hard, and apparently he admits he's had to work hard to do the weight, well, would he have recovered from 6 o'clock last night? I mean, how long does it take?
No, you have to make the weight properly, Reg. It's no good training hard and maybe losing 7 or 8 pounds a couple of days before the fight, because all the strength is out of the body. You have to get your weight down gradually and keep it down. You want to be within sight of the weight the last week leading up to the fight. And Nunn obviously hasn't done it properly. There's definitely something missing. This is better stuff we're getting from him. Now, these are good shots. At long range, he's a different class to Little. But he's going to have the strength in his legs to keep this fellow at long range.
Referee John Coyle from the Midlands, WBA official referee. So they're giving him a bit of a shower bath already in the fight, which is a bit early. Referee John Coyle taking the scorecards from the judges. Jim, let's have a look at a close-up here.
See, when they're close up and Nunn looks at his worst, he doesn't seem to have the strength to go to work with Little. He just covers up, waits until he can get to long range again and get his long jab moving. But he's really going to have to improve what he's doing. Everything he does has the sign of weight reduction. His long range boxing is decent. These were good shots that he landed at long range, but there's definitely a lack of strength in a lot of his work.
Round 4. Well, live. Michael Nunn have to liven up his act here, there's no doubt about this. This guy's come with a bit of heart, isn't he, Steve Little? He could see chances here.
Yeah, well, he's a decent enough pro, Reg. You know, his approach work is decent. He keeps his chin down, sound defence, and he can let the punches go. And he's already shaken Nunn, and he obviously fancies the job. But he fancies the job when he come into the ring, and he fancies it more now that he's hurt Nunn. Nunn has to get that southpaw jab going. Keep Little at long range.